in my ethics and international relations class, where as a form of torture, I have all 16 of the students form one group paper. So it's a committee of the whole, all 16 of them have to agree on one paper, a group project on coercive interrogation, the ethics of the coercive interrogations program. And usually the students flounder for weeks as they're trying to organize 16 of them to come up with a thing. Emma took charge, and they had, I think, from my judgment, less collective action problems than any other group project had, even though it was that size, because of Emma's leadership. I'm told that there's a sort of dictatorial side to Emma that the students have seen, I haven't seen. I just see the sweet Emma, but she whipped them into shape.
What are you going to do with this in the future? Is this going to affect your career in any ways?
Well, I'm headed to Beijing next year as a Schwarzman Scholar, so I'll be studying international relations there. And I'm excited to ask more people about this. So you want to have to be a little circumspect when acting about defense issues, but as much as I can talk about Chinese peacekeepers. China actually has a peacekeeping training facility within its borders that's internationally located. I'd love to go visit it, and I'd love to continue conversations as to China's approach to foreign policy.
My name is Emma Campbell-Mohn. I majored in political science and also in Asian and Middle Eastern studies, Chinese concept creation, with a minor in history. So I've taken Professor Fever's U.S. Foreign Policy class, Ethics and International Relations class, American Grand Strategy class, and Civil Military Relations class. And all of these, in different ways, have helped provide a framework to my understanding of foreign policy, but also ask the deeper questions, like what is an ethical foreign policy, and how does ethics play into U.S. national interests? And also, or whether looking at civil military relations and being able to take a class with General Dempsey and hear his insights about the civilian defense military framework has been a fascinating experience to help me understand not only U.S. foreign policy, but also grow in my understanding of like how institutions work and the broader concepts behind institutions. I've taken classes with Professor Gillespie, who's exposed me to political thought and to how to understand philosophy in that way. And I've loved political science overall. Professor Beardsley was my thesis advisor. We worked on questions of peacekeepers and looking at Chinese peacekeepers, and this was just a great experience.
And I think at Duke, I found the experiences like American Grand Strategy, like Alexander Hamilton Society, the Duke Political Science Department, the experiences outside of classroom equally or more valuable than inside the classroom, in the sense that being able to talk to experts, being able to speak face to face with people, like take a class with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. These are unparalleled opportunities I think are unique to Duke, and that's what helped prepare me.
I'm looking forward to understanding not only the U.S. foreign policy and how it impacts the world and how it impacts China, but also understanding Chinese foreign policy better. So I interned for Congressman J. Randy Forbes this summer, and I went to a CSIS conference on the South China Sea, and there was people from all over the world. There was lots of people from Vietnam, people from America, all talking about the South China Sea, and particularly the legality of the South China Sea claims. And this was a very interesting conversation because they seem to be talking past each other in some respects. You'd have the Chinese lawyer saying his definite statement, the sort of party line, while the American and Vietnamese scholars disagreeing adamantly. And I wanted to not only be able to talk about from the U.S. perspective, but be able to understand the Chinese perspective and offer a U.S. response that would create a constructive dialogue. Duke, in particular the Duke American Grand Strategy programs, does staff rides. Now, staff rides are where students role play certain famous figures in battles, like we did a D-Day staff ride, so we had people playing Eisenhower, etc. But we do trips to France and England to explore these like huge foreign policy questions. But more than that, I think we build a community, and whether in political science, whether in other disciplines, through the American Grand Strategy program and through these staff rides, I have grown as a person. I remember a particular moment when we were wandering around Paris after one of our big staff rides, and we were debating everything from ISIS to the role of Eisenhower to just talking about life. And having those experiences and having the ability to see political science both inside and outside of the classroom has been incredible for my personal growth. not just professionally, but also like looking at heroes. For example, one of the people that went on the staff ride was Assistant Secretary of State John Hillen and Dr. Peter Fever, and both of their way of acting and who they are shows how to be a full person instead of merely when you deal with questions of, we're looking at life and death with a lot of these security things, and how to approach those in both a respectful, ethical way. I also think, on a very separate note, another great moment was the American Gun Strategy Christmas parties. So Professor Fever, after his course, we hand in a paper, and we have this dinner afterwards, and we all get together. Now the part, and he'll probably be pretty mad at me for telling this, but the part that he misses is that the paper is due at 5 p.m. and the Christmas party starts at 7 p.m. So my team looked at energy, and we had stayed up for 36 hours at that point, writing and working and editing this paper and making it perfect. And it's one of the toughest experiences because we were sitting in the library for 36 hours together, and there's a lot of tensions there, but it's also a great team building. Like, I know those guys will always have my back, and we've been through a lot together. And then, totally tired and exhausted, we go to his Christmas party, and we just have a wonderful time getting to know each other, and just having that community has been really powerful and impactful.